Good morning, students. Our today's topic is active and passive immunity. When a host is exposed to antigens, which may be in the form of living or dead microbes, antibodies are produced in the host body. This type of immunity is called active immunity. When our body encounters any pathogens, then our body produces antibodies, that is active immunity. Active immunity is slow and takes time to give its full effect. Injecting the microbes deliberately during immunization or infectious organisms, gaining access into body during natural infection induce active immunity. By immunization or when we encounter the pathogens, we can get the active immunity. And when ready-made antibodies are given to protect the body against foreign agent, it is known as passive immunity. That is, ready-made antibodies are given. The yellowish fluid called colostrum secreted by mother during the initial days of lactation has abundant antibodies to protect the infant. The fetus also receives some antibodies from their mother through the placenta during pregnancy. These all are the examples of passive immunity. Next is vaccination and immunization. First, what is vaccination? Vaccination is when a vaccine is administered into the body through injection, mainly through injection. Immunization is what happens in our body after taking vaccination. What reaction, what occurs in our body after taking vaccination. The vaccines stimulate our immune system to protect the body for future infection. The principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory of the immune system. In vaccination, a preparation of antigenic protein of pathogen or weakened or inactive pathogens are introduced into the body. If a person is infected with some deadly microbes to which quick immune response is required, as in case of tetanus, we need to directly inject the preformed antibodies or antitoxins. Even in case of snake bites, the injection which is given to the patients contain preformed antibodies against the snake venom. This type of immunization is called passive immunization. Next topic is allergies. The exaggerated response of the immune system to certain antigens present in the environment is called allergy. When our body responds to the pathogen or antigens present in the environment, this is known as allergy. This is a response of our body. The substances to which such an immune response is produced are called allergens. The substances which produces allergy are called allergens. The antibodies produced to these are of IgE type. Common example of allergens are pollen grains, animal dander, mites in dust, etc. Symptoms of allergic reactions are sneezing, watery eyes, running nose, and difficulty in breathing. Allergy is due to the release of chemicals like histamine and serotonin from the mast cells. The mast cells present in the connective tissue of our body, they secrete histamine and serotonin. These are the chemicals against this allergy. For determining the cause of allergy, the patient is exposed or injected with very small doses of possible allergens, and reaction is studied. The use of drugs like antihistamine, adrenaline, and steroids, they reduce the symptoms of allergy. Somehow, modern day lifestyle has resulted in lowering of immunity and more sensitivity to allergens. This could be because of the protected environment provided in early life. Next is autoimmunity. Sometimes the immune system makes a mistake and attacks the body's own tissues or organs. This is called autoimmunity. This results in damage to the body and it is also called autoimmune disease. Rheumatoid arthritis, which affects many people in our society, is an autoimmune disease. Next topic is immune system of the body. The human immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, cells, and antibodies. Immune system is the unique in the sense that it recognizes foreign antigens, then responds to them and remembers them. The human immune system also play an important role in allergic reactions, autoimmune disease, and organ transplantation. Now, lymphoid organs. These are the organs where origin, maturation, and proliferation. Proliferation means where increase in number of lymphocytes occur. A primary lymphoid organ are bone marrow and thymus, where immature lymphocytes differentiate into antigen sensitive lymphocytes. Their maturation occurs. After maturation, the lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid organs like spleen, lymph nodes, tonsils, Peyer's patches of the small intestine, and appendix. Where is spleen present? Spleen is present above the stomach and under the ribs. Peyer's patches inside the small intestine, these patches are present. The secondary lymphoid organs provide the site for interaction of lymphocytes with the antigens. The bone marrow is the main lymphoid organ where all blood cells, including lymphocytes, are produced. The thymus is a lobed organ located near the heart and beneath the breastbone. This is the location of thymus gland. The thymus is quite large at the time of birth but keeps reducing in size with age, and by the time puberty is attained, it reduces to a very small size. In the small children, thymus gland is large in size, but in the adults or in the old persons, the thymus is reduced in size. Reason, that is why the elderly person has less immunity, because their thymus gland very much reduced in size. Both bone marrow and thymus provide micro environments for the development and maturation of T lymphocytes. The spleen is a large bean-shaped organ. It mainly contains lymphocytes and phagocytes. It acts as filter of the body blood by trapping blood-borne microorganisms. Spleen also has a large reservoir of erythrocytes. Spleen is also known as the graveyard of RBCs. The lymph nodes are small, solid structures located at different points along the lymphatic system. Lymph nodes serves to trap the microorganisms or other antigens which happen to get into the lymph and tissue fluids. So these lymph nodes, because here the lymphocytes are present, they kill the antigens or germs. Antigens trapped in the lymph nodes are responsible for the activation of lymphocytes present there and cause the immune response. There are lymphoid tissue also located within the lining of the major tracts like respiratory, digestive, and urogenital tract, and are called mucosal associated lymphoid tissue, MALT. Learn the full form of MALT, can come for 1 mark. It constitutes about 50% of the lymphoid tissue in human body. Next topic is AIDS. The word AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. This means deficiency of immune system acquired during the lifetime of an individual, indicating that it is not a congenital disease. Congenital means from the birth. Syndrome means a group of symptoms. In this, some symptoms appear because of the deficiency of immune system. AIDS was first reported in 1981, and now in last 25 years or so it has spread all over the world, killing more than 25 million persons. AIDS is caused by human immunodeficiency virus HIV, a member of the group of viruses called retrovirus, which have an envelope enclosing the RNA genome. That is, in the retrovirus, one outside envelope is present and inside RNA as a genetic material is present. Transmission of HIV infection generally occurs by sexual contact with infected person, by transfusion of contaminated blood and blood products, by sharing infected needles as in the case of intravenous drug abusers, from infected mother to her child through placenta. So people who are at high risk of getting this infection includes individuals who have multiple sexual partners, drug addicts who take drugs intravenously, individuals who require repeated blood transfusion, and children born to an HIV infected mothers. Can you tell me, when do people need repeated blood transfusion? In thalassemia disease, where the people require repeated blood transfusion. It is important to note that HIV or AIDS is not spread by mere touch or physical contact. It spreads only through body fluids. It is hence imperative for the physical and psychological well-being that the HIV AIDS infected persons are not isolated from family and society. There is always a time lag between the infection and appearance of AIDS symptoms. This period may vary from few months to many years. After getting into the body of the person, the virus enters into macrophages, where RNA genome of the virus replicates to form viral DNA with the help of enzyme reverse transcriptase. That is, transcription is when DNA changes into RNA or DNA forms RNA, and reverse is when RNA forms DNA. So here the enzyme reverse transcriptase is used, which converts the RNA, which forms the RNA from RNA DNA. So viral DNA is formed when the virus enters into the animal cell. This viral DNA that gets incorporated into host cell's DNA and directs the infected cell to produce virus particles. The macrophages continue to produce viruses, and in this way acts like a HIV factory. Many virus particles are produced here. Simultaneously, HIV enters into helper lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, replicates and produce progeny viruses. The progeny viruses released in the blood attack other helper T lymphocytes. This is repeated, leading to a progressive decrease in the number of helper T lymphocytes in the blood of the infected person. During this period, the person suffers from bouts of fever, diarrhea, and weight loss. Due to decrease in the number of helper T lymphocytes, the person starts suffering from infections. So in this, first the retrovirus enters into the animal cell. There from the RNA, DNA is formed, viral DNA is formed. This DNA then mixes with the animal's own DNA and forms new copy. When the DNA multiply, this newly formed DNA also multiplies, and in this way forms new viruses are formed. A widely used diagnostic test for AIDS is ELISA. Full form is Enzyme Linked Immunosorbent Assay. Treatment of AIDS with antiretroviral drugs is only partially effective. They can only prolong the life of the patient but cannot prevent death, which is inevitable. Now, prevention of AIDS. As AIDS has no cure, prevention is the best option. WHO has started a number of programs to prevent the spread of HIV infection. making blood safe from HIV, ensuring the use of only disposable needles and syringes in public and private hospitals and clinics, free distributions of condoms, controlling drug abuse, advocating safe sex, and promoting regular checkups for HIV in susceptible population are some such steps taken up. So, it is a malady that can only be tackled by the society and medical fraternity acting together to prevent the spread of the disease. So, next topic cancer we will take next time. Thank you.